And I don't know if you can see it, but on the side, the three of us have sent the questions over here so everybody can read them while we're on here. And we're just trying to decide which ones to have.
Okay.
Isn't this I personally find this so strange because like we're putting all this like work into assignments that we're not even sending in ourselves, you know, like how last week at least we had like you had to send in our assignments personally and that was 1 week, and then the next week we did like combined, but this week is literally like we have to do an assignment and then both of the assignments at once.
Yeah, and then our test is this week.
I know. And did you guys notice that our grades and our tests don't even count if you reach above 5?
Yeah. It's basically got 100 on it.
Yeah, and like it's literally just based off of the A and B assignments, like to get an A or B.
Yeah.
I did not expect like literally none of our grades would have any placement.
Yeah, see, that's the thing that kind of tripped me too, because I mean, like, I think I did pretty good on all the assignments. It's just that when it came to, like, the A and B, I think during that week, I really didn't have enough time to, like, do the other project. So it's basically saying that I'm looking for, like, a B or a C, and I just feel like that's not really fair because I really did do a lot of work, you know? And so for me, it's just like, okay, I guess I just have to like really put in the extra time and really start on that project, knock that out, so I don't have to worry about it.
Because literally, you miss one assignment, and you're ineligible to get an A, which is so crazy to me. But literally, like the A and B assignment, I was like expecting it to be something so insane, and it literally was just a question, like about what our final projects were gonna do. But then I like went back and I like asked her. I was like, well, it graded it like weirdly, like the one answer was just the right answer, and she was like, well, none of the grades actually matter. I just have to put the grades in for the computer to like recognize them as actual test problems.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what happens if I change my mind after this whole semester of learning that I get to the end? I'm like, maybe I don't want to take the 25 questions. Maybe I want to do different things. I'm like, are we now stuck into what we have to do, like for the A and B thing? It's just so crazy. I can't believe none of our grades count. So what happens if you get to the end and your whole things have said meets expectations, and you think you're having a really good job, then you miss like 2 A or B assignments and you end with like a D or a C, but this whole time you've had like meets expectations.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be pissed if that happens.
I'm just like I feel like this can either go really good in your favor or you make one mistake and it's going to completely ruin your grade.
That's how I'm feeling right now. I was like, okay, so I had to like really time management and like really try to get for that A because that's my goal.
I know. And are you guys taking any other classes this semester?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have 3 regular ones.
I'm taking 4 other ones.
I made the like not worst decision, but it was like I wanted to go them. Literally 3 fast track classes that started yesterday. So I'm like, I really hope the classes not.
I know. I have a fast track class that just started this week. I'm just like, okay, great. Add in another 10 hours of study.
I know. When I took macro and microeconomics with the same professor at the same time, and her assignments are the exact same. Like the info that is like a 200 paragraph about yourself, and I'm like, how do I not write the same thing if it's for the same teacher but 2 different classes? I'm like, you can only write your name so many times without it looking the same. I was like, maybe this wasn't the best choice on my part. Okay, so Alex, did you finish yours?
Yeah, I didn't go as in depth in my questions. I can go and copy them.
That's totally fine.
I did like 4 of them, and I did like right before.
And see, this is another thing. Like, it's only Tuesday, but this assignment's not due till Saturday night. But we have to have it done so fast to be able to like do the next part of it. So
yeah. So for I'm gonna try to submit like what I'm supposed to submit in. Because Saturday, then I will not be free at all. That's the day where I work all day. I work all day Friday and Saturday. So Thursday, then I'm just gonna try to submit mines in, and then Natasha, if you're fixing it, then just fix however you like, because I probably won't have time to look at it.
I'm just gonna probably keep it the same easy format that the other ones have been, like on the F18, and then just like a simple Word document layout with like bullet points and like just like
Yeah.
simple.
Okay.
Crazy. But I've noticed so far none of the three that of yours have anything talking about the computer programming, like talking about level and skill in the computer programming and the
Yeah.
simulators. I'll make sure to have a question in there about that. And see, this is actually kind of nice that I didn't do mine yet, because now I have the ability to like fill in all the blanks that we haven't done yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be good because I didn't really know how to touch topic on that part. So I did see a question about that, but I really didn't know much about it, so I couldn't really specifically answer to that. I guess. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't either. My husband does like web development and weird computer stuff, and I just no, thank you. I don't want to understand that. It's just like, okay, so what factors do you consider when preparing for plans? I really like that question. One's like your first one, the talking about preparing sites and like all the specific things. Like I feel like you covered 3 totally different questions all in one question. So instead of like going in and like another question talking about budgeting, like you like wrapped it all up into one question. And so we could theoretically just like take it down further, you know what I mean? Instead of like having more questions on that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just highlight these and copy them. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm gonna do our
Okay. No.
okay, so I have
Wait.
you have your sources you use.
Yes. Let me send you my source. I only got one source.
Okay, and then baby, hang on, watch out.
What?
What am I doing on the computer?
So the one that I just sent was basically a list where I just got all my questions at. I just used one site for it.
Okay. Sarah, what's your favorite question? I feel like this is to do this, like we're like, okay, whose are better, like you know what I mean? Like it's such a strange thing that we have to do. And there's only 4 of us, so like and there's 5 questions, so I say we pick one from each of us, and then we'll just like all together decide a question at the end, or one of us gets to like throw in an extra question. That way we can just like evenly disperse this.
I like the research question because I wouldn't want to hire anybody who doesn't want to do like extra work to like benefit my company.
Okay,
It's the-
Mm-hmm.
which one? Right here.
The 5th one.
Android team. Okay. I like the question, Alex. The what duties are the easiest and the most difficult for you to perform? Because I feel like that's a good question to touch up on. Like, how are you going to work around the things you think are like difficult? You know what I mean? Instead of being like, what things can you do and what things can you not do? Like, it's
Yeah, I agree. I like that question too because it's about knowing, you know, what are your strong points and your weak points and how can you work around to perform.
it doesn't like approach the question like you won't be able to not be able to do certain things. Like it's talking about like you will still do them even though they are difficult. Do we all agree? So we have research, we have site
Yeah.
plans, costs for land development, and then so we need and then we have the computer programming. So we just need what, one more?
We need
Okay.
one more, and we have the answers for all of them. So if everyone's cool with like the answers that we like put on the questions. then that's cool. But
So yeah, I mean, you guys can tweak mine because I just answer really quick within like 30 minutes for all the answers. So if you guys have a better answer, go ahead and put it down.
Yeah. If Alex wants to send me an answer in your site you or used for your question, like it's the most difficult one, I'll just write up the answer for the computer programming one, and I'll just like send this all to you guys before. I'll send it to you probably Thursday. Have it like completed, and then like I'll consider the programming one my question. I feel like that wouldn't be fair if we all sat here and came up with an answer to that when I haven't completed mine yet.
Yeah, so I'll send you the answer for the question for the easiest duties and most difficult, and I'll send you the source.
Awesome. Okay, we want our fifth question? So we have site plans, research, difficulties, and computer programming. Do we need like more of a wholesome like landscape or like agriculture question, like as like what brought you to this job, like why? Because I see Sarah, you have one talking about like what was it? What about landscaping architecture attracts you? And I'm pretty sure.
on the website, the one that I got that question from, it had a lot. It was like, what type of landscaping were you like that most comfortable with, and then like what kind of things have you learned that you're like better in, like specifically. So, like you're a doctor, I'm a trauma surgeon, I'm a this surgeon kind of thing. It's like what it was.
Okay, so also, do you think we should add in somehow, like I figure out how to tie in the teamwork into the part of talking about easiest and most difficult things for you? Like we could talk about like what are the easiest and most difficult things to perform? Is working in a team something difficult for you? Like we could like add that in that question, like instead of having to add like a whole another question talking about teamwork, because I feel like
we can add another question and then be like, what's your most successful teamwork project? And then that would be able to give them the opportunity to elaborate on how they're a team player and they can do teamwork.
Yeah, like so that would be our fifth question.
I think that would probably be a better one because we have everything else covered except for like the teamwork kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. So maybe we could tie in something about like okay, so for your question that says you enjoy research, like we could talk about, are you comfortable working outside of your preferred area of landscape architect? Like that could be where we pull in like the level of like agriculture that you're comfortable in, like instead of creating that into another question. Because I feel like we really add something in about like working in different parts of landscape. All these questions are really specific, nothing like it's a really broad. We agree.
Yes.
Yes. So what can you repeat you mentioned for the fifth question, Sarah?
So is that all the questions?
Yeah, the last, we were just trying to figure out the last one. And I don't know which one we decided on for it to be specifically.
So are we wanting one that focus on
Technology, you gotta love it.
Sarah, we can use yours for the one that says in your experience, what is a good key to developing a good team? Because that one is pretty good too. Respect for the group, for the first establishment. That's a good one.
Mm,
That's fine.
You guys
I
hear me?
have one. Yeah, I can hear you.
Computer side. What did I miss?
Okay, so what are we trying to decide on right now?
We need our fifth question. We have what factors do you consider when preparing the size story, research regimen. Are you comfortable? Like we're gonna tie into that question. Are you comfortable researching and working outside of your area of architecture? And then we have what duties are the easiest and most to perform? And then fourth one is talking about computer programming. And I've made that question yet. That's all we really need.
so we're gonna do the fifth one about like teamwork and stuff.
Yeah, should we do that?
Yeah.
So,
that's fine.
Sarah and I, we have one. I'm looking at it, and we have like the exact same one, and we can combine ours together if you want, because we can do that too. Unless like we want to like do our own research and look for a separate one. But I noticed that Sarah and I, we have a similar. We have the same question, and we also have like different answers, and we can like combine that together.
Can you
Yeah.
copy those like both the
Yeah.
questions into the text box again? Because it won't let me see them because my thing crashed.
Here.
They disappear. I wonder if in the recording process she's able to see the chats we are having.
At the top of it, it says recording messages in the chat, so it should be able to.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
recording. Wow, you guys' question is literally the same.
Yeah.
Pretty
I
funny.
copied them.
The first one is Sarah. Mine is the second one, and we both agree on respect for the team. They're basically about the same. Yeah.
Like wow, they're literally
We should do that for the last one.
the teamwork.
Yeah. I
Okay,
think.
inexperienced to developing a team. So you guys' answers are pretty similar.
Yeah, ours is pretty similar. We can like combine it or however too. Unless we want to spend extra time to look at another one, but since we have one here, we can like try to combine it to save more time. I'm just assuming.
Nothing yet in the 5 questions about teamwork. Experience.
And we,
So is our question just going to be that because you guys both literally have the exact same question? Should it be in your experience, what is the key to developing a good team? Should that be our 5th question?
yeah, that's we can do that because I think we have like good, well-rounded questions with everyone's already. I would say, yeah.
Yeah, I think our questions are covering everything that for the interview question.
Yeah, that's why I especially like the first question ones, like the one talking about like budget. That's that would have taken up like 3 questions. Revolve around the same thing. What answer do we want for the question?
Okay, so are the answers that we have for the questions that we know what they are, except for like the computer one and then the one for Alex's, are those answers okay?
Yeah, so far we for sure have 2 answers. We have 5 questions. The duty ones, Alex will send computer programming I have to make. So really all we need is this last one done.
Okay.
And then I can not talk for a couple years because I sound crazy.
Um,
Should we also mention in the question something about what are the hardest things working in a team? Like, or should we just stay on the positive side of the question?
We can do that too. Because there's always, any kind of
Well, see, if we're
teamwork.
going to go on a trend with like how our questions are, a lot of our questions are not asking more than one thing. So if you want to have like a uniform like questions for everything, you don't want to ask like two questions in one question and the rest of the questions only have one answer.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Because
so far, do you enjoy doing research and are you comfortable working out of your specific work area? And then Melinda's for things, and then what
Okay.
duties are the easy?
That's my fault then.
No,
I
it's
think it's fine.
I like the uniform question pattern because those are like the little things that you will look at. Like if we were to have one at the bottom and the bottom one's like, do you like what you do? Like,
We should do like good or bad team experience.
your experience, what is the key to
What's
developing
the
a
good experiences and what's the bad experiences of it?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Or like a bad experience that you had to like overcome.
Or just like what do you not like about it and what do you do like about it? Because like you can overcome pretty much anything, but if you're not willing to overcome it, you're not going to do it. Like a bad experience would be disagreements with team members who don't want to resolve them, but a good experience would be meeting a deadline before the deadline because you guys could get along.
Yeah.
And then if we're asking what are the good and bad things about working, we're moving away from the question of asking what is the key to developing a good team. Those are like two totally different questions. Asking like what your team is totally different than talking about how you develop yourself. I feel like our answer should be more talking about the things that create a team, not unless we were to change the question itself. Because the question right now is talking about developing in terms of working.
Yeah,
So
but I
I
was
feel like
calling experience part of it because it's saying in your experience.
experience, but it's the key to developing a good team. I feel like we could be like something like in your experience, what is the key to developing a good team and what do you find difficult while doing so? Like,
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think we should.
Yeah, you can do that one, Asha. Yeah, that's.
what did I just say? Hang on. Developing a good team and I don't know, in your experience, what is the key to developing a good team? And what do you find difficult while doing so? Yeah.
Mhm.
I'll like fix it up a little bit, like just along that thought process. That's the thing is like there's so many things you can like talk about, and then you're like, which one do I go on? So yeah, so far we have the question, the what factors you consider when preparing a site plan. Do you enjoy research? And do you feel comfortable working outside of your preferred research zone? Something like that. What duties are the easiest, most difficult for you to perform? Something about computer programming and in your experience, what is the key to developing a good team and what do you find difficult while doing so?
Yeah.
Thing is So I think what I'm going to do so far for the answer for that question, I think I'm going to go a little bit past the just talking about what you guys have mentioned, just because we slightly changed the question slightly. So, I mean, you're talking about respect early on, and then I'm also going to add in probably what you said, Sarah, having good communication skills and being able to lead. Do you feel like those are like 3 good main factors?
Yeah.
Respect, communication, and being a leader.
Is that
It.
Okay, so we have our 5 questions, right, with answers.
Yeah,
yeah?
I have except for the one Alex will send me and what I have to do. So once I get this laid out, so yeah.
Okay, so just quick question. What is everybody supposed to submit? There's a lot going on.
Yeah, I didn't get to the platforms. That's the thing about
Everybody
classes,
does like the review thing or whatever, that like analyzing your meeting or something like that.
So I know that we're supposed to individually, like for Sarah as a summarizer, what she will have to summarize, and you're gonna have to submit that. And then since I'm recorder, then I will have to submit the details of what the meeting is and the date and the time. And then Natasha, you're gonna be submitting the final interview questions, right? As for yours, and then I know that for Alexander, then he is doing the YouTube recording, and then all of us we have to do what's
Yeah,
that
self-reflection.
self-reflection one, right?
But
Yeah.
pretty much it's the same thing as we did
It's
last week,
like
right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure. it's
So
the
as the
same.
summarizer, is there any document that I'm supposed to be turning in? That's the thing, because I don't think there's anything that I have to turn in.
Yeah, you don't
As
have
a summary,
The only document you turn in is the self-reflection.
Okay, cool. Just clearing, because I don't want to like mess up something and then like y'all have to do it because I didn't know.
I think the only
Because
thing I do is the self-reflection and just summarize what we were discussing in this meeting. So you just have to do 2 of those things. Just discussing what the main points are for this meeting that we had, and then you're supposed to write it on Word document and submit it, and then just have your own self-reflection.
yeah, and then I wait till everybody emails me saying that they put everything that they needed to, and then I'll submit the document of all those that we did. And then on there, you have to make sure you hit save as draft, not as submit, because we have to all put our self-reflections on the same board, and then I'll go in and hit submit. Then I'll send it in without all of our stuff in. Sounds so serious. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you
But
mean
yeah,
stop
so
it?
pretty much.
I think
Oh, so meeting next week.